It was like this. We got to Mahakam a week after the Grand Master died. Bought Zoltan an absolutely grand doublet, a pair of Garibaldi Krakau's, and as a gift for Eudora, a jade stone as big as my fist.
We were broke as a joke by the time Dandelion threw me a bachelor party at an establishment called the Tight Lane.
Next day, we went over to the Breckenriggs. They welcomed us in, sat us down, and proceeded to discuss the superiority of Mahakaman mining know-how over any other. And that went on until dinner. Just when I thought I'd learned more than I ever wanted to know about mining, they served the soup.
You could have held a pin drop. Old Breckenridge rose and he says, "A real dwarf works a mine, not chases fame on the battlefield."
You'll never believe this, girls, but they served duck blood soup. It was as black as tar. They must have dropped lumps of coal into the pot.
"Eat," Breckenridge says, then proceeded to slop 2 full bowls of the shite. Old goat. Hope his mind caves in on his head.
So Zoltan's wedding didn't go as well as planned. But a little bit more backstory of why Zoltan was charged with working with the Scoia'tael.
Lorido said you're working with the Scoia'tael, Zoltan.
I have done many things in my life, Geralt, but I have never stooped to banditry.
The Scoia'tael don't consider themselves bandits.
But I am no Scoia'tael.
So he's not Scoia'tael. But apparently, Dandelion may be an informant.
Since when have you worked for Roach?
Hey, nobody said a word when you went out to save Temeria from the Grand Master and his mutants.
Relax, Dandelion. I was just asking. Do what you want. You're an adult, kind of.
That wasn't very supportive.
Laugh away. At least I decided to do something constructive.
You used to spy for Redania. Now you're spying for Temeria. Some might call you a traitor.
Ever tried to live off of poetry alone? The truth is, I'm a citizen of the world. As long as I don't serve Emperor Emir, I'm not doing any harm.
Leave him be, Geralt. You play the spy a bit, get bored and drop it. You know how he is.
Dandelion is a region-renowned poet that is invited into, quite honestly, all of the aristocratic places in the entirety of the world, or the North. So he uses the pomp and privilege of his position to garner information so he can live the life that he chooses, which is a life of leisure and women, more. But we come to what happened after Geralt was arrested.
Triss, you're the expert on Temeria. Tell us who's in charge now.
It's chaotic and getting worse. The old families are fighting for supremacy, no holds barred.
Baron Kimbolt and Count Marivel, I bet.
Among others. After the assassination, while Geralt was in the dungeon, the lords convened in a field near Lavalette Castle to choose a new ruler. 3 days they debated, and it looked more like a bazaar than a meeting of nobles. Except the trade was in court and ministry positions, spheres of influence, royal privileges.
Humans.
In spite of several duels and 2 poisonings, no king was chosen. Civil war was in the air.
Yes. So with the mages being around, they're usually the ones to temper the extremes of the ruling class. They are sources of wisdom and restraint. They usually fill an advisory role for all of the rulers of Temeria. But as of the last war with Nilfgaard and the recent issues, there are fewer mages and less of them are trusted, because the kings view them as their influence as interfering with the sovereignty of their kingdoms, and that they don't believe that they serve the best interests of their individual kingdoms anymore.
Where were the mages?
Aye. Where were the grey eminences of this world when they were truly needed?
They weren't invited. Neither was I. But if not for their intervention, or rather that of a few influential sorceresses, Baron Kimbolt would have taken the throne.
I was invited to sing at his court once. Afterwards, he refused to pay me, and the food was awful. No way I'll stay in Temeria if he's crowned.
So, the mages are less trusted now. so it makes sense why Triss and many other sorcerers and sorceresses were not invited. So, was there a resolution?
Did they ultimately resolve anything?
No, it ended as usual. Sadly, John Natalis remains our only hope.
Ah, the victor at Brenna, and Foltest's most tried and true field commander.
And during the deliberations, he was several days' march from Lavalette lands, with an additional 2,000 armed men in tow. He's to keep the peace until a rightful monarch is chosen.
He could find that ruling is to his liking.
Natalis is a soldier at heart. He's not suited to rule, and I don't believe he even wants to.
He's got the army behind him.
Which is why he can guarantee peace. Why, a tenuous one, sure, but that's always better than civil war. Besides which, he's deeply in debt to a dwarven bank in which Philippa Eilhart as sorceress holds significant stake.
Philippa Eilhart. Another sorceress, very influential sorceress that works for Redania, which is another kingdom further to the north.
I think I've heard enough about politics.
But about the kings.
Foltest's killer lay in wait in the tower, where the Lavalettes had hidden the royal bastards. He was well informed.
Wait a minute, what were you doing there?
I was protecting the king. After the first attempt, Foltest began treating me as his lucky charm. He ordered me to be at his side during the battle. The dragon separated us from the rest of the army. The killer disguised himself as a monk, a blind one at that. He let Foltest greet his children, waited until I had walked off, then cut the king's throat from ear to ear.
How did he flee?
Jumped out a window into the river below. Yor with Skoyatel were waiting in a boat. It was planned.
And you're chasing him because he murdered the king?
I was accused of the murder. I need to clear my name. Besides, I looked him in the eye before he escaped. He's a witcher. Then some brave Temerian soldiers showed up, piled on me, and knocked me out.
Save yourselves, good folk! The beast attacks!
We better get out there. Someone's casting spells.
The notice about the Kraken. Sorceress appears.
What sort of sorceress are you? A lot of good you did. Can't you hear me? Why didn't you help him?
He's alive, isn't he?
The beast nearly pulled him in the water while you stood staring like a calf at a shit-covered clover.
Watch your words.
Where's this beast?
Ask her.
Geralt.
Ah, I guess we knew each other.
Oh, look here. Birds of a feather.
Let's say I've heard of you.
Master Witcher, this is foolish. The beast near pulled Sozek into the depths, and you're simply chatting with this damsel.
Yeah, but I want to know about the monster.
All right. What happened?
I came to Flotsam to kill the Kairan,
Kairan?
the monster that has effectively blocked the port. A moment ago, I had the good fortune to see it in all its splendor, but the local folk scared it away.
Good fortune? You hear that, Sozek? That was some good fortune for you.
Why's the beast in the port all of a sudden, eh? Summoned by the witch, perchance?
To see it in all its splendor.
Yeah, it's time for you guys to leave. And I love Jedi mind tricks, so
Sozek
you should
doesn't
go.
look too good. Lay him inside somewhere.
Right, we've dawdled enough already. Come on, lads, let's go.
What's this? I was ready for a rumble there.
Shut it, and come on.
Solve so many problems.
I apologize for interrupting, but I am Louis Merce, and I am chief person in charge of all matters related to monster hunting in Flotsam. It is in this capacity that I must inquire if you're willing to attempt to resolve the problem of our so-called Kairan, the beast that now blocks all trade traffic on the river.
So, Witcher, are we willing?
I usually work alone.
I was here first, and I'll not relinquish this contract. My way or the highway, as the locals put it.
Fine. Your way it is.
You must contact the merchants on the waterfront as regards any rewards. Madame de Tanseville has, I believe, already conducted some preliminary negotiations.
That I have.
In that case, don't let me keep you.
Ah, yes. My way or
Tris,
the highway.
how long must I wait for you to introduce us?
Sheila de Tanserville, advisor to Queen Zulika of Kovir.
Kovir's a long way north.
True. I had my doubts if the Kayran was worth the journey, but those were dispelled with what it showed today.
Here to hunt down some ingredients?
Tris Merigold. Sharp as ever.
You're thinking that...
Troll eyes, ghoul venom, virgin's blood, all those disgusting marvels we take from dying species, to throw into the cauldron at Sabbaths. Right, Tris?
Absolutely. Virgins are a dying breed.
Oh my. Your sense of humor seems to be intact too. But enough of these pleasantries. Tell me, Geralt. You saw the tentacle. What do you make of it all?
The beast must be huge. Maybe inhabited one of the Pontar's tributaries before, hunting animals. Then it grew for some reason, and hunger drove it to seek fresh pastures.
And on the Pontar it found trade barges burgeoning with obese, slow-moving merchants. You're partly correct. Cedric claims the Kayran emerged from the northern swamps approximately 1 month past.
Cedric?
An elf. Formerly a Scoia'tael. Strange bird. But he knows quite a bit about the area and its living wonders.
I need to look around, find out a few things.
An investigation. Witches' rituals, extracting secrets and such.
More or less. I'll talk to the merchants about the reward, pay Cedric a visit, and get back to you.
You'll find me at the inn. I've rented lodgings there, on the upper floor.
You know the inn's also a horror house.
Thanks for the warning.
So yeah. Another sorceress, and a more mainstream sorceress.
Go ask the mason to take you as his apprentice.
The standard sorcerer and sorceress way is definitely, we are superior and you should listen to what we say. Which usually infuriates Geralt to no end. Wouldn't infuriate most people to no end.
Not really, it's
But-
a shithole.
Let's see if we can't get some money out of the merchants. I don't believe any of them are here. In this specific pier, but they should be around someplace. You are...
Ever seen the river monster,
Someone.
the Kayran?
I have, but I'm not the talkative kind.
So you shall talk to me.
Speak up.
The monster's as big as a barn, with giant tentacles. Snatches men from boat decks and cattle off the shore. It's slimy like a snail, but fast as a thirsty vampire.
Fun. Big, slimy, and very powerful. Kind of got that one already, but still useful information. So let's see if we can't find a merchant. These are guards. You are a random person who's wearing very scantily clothed. Are you a merchant?
White-haired one, I have an offer for you.
Do now.
Greetings, white-haired one. I could do with your help. You see, I'm looking for a certain formula.
I'm no herbalist.
I know who you are. I'll be straight. Find the formula and you'll earn a sizable pouch of orans.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Find a thing, get
What
money.
do you want me to do?
The formula is in the hands of a certain shopkeeper.
Can't go and see him yourself?
He deals in incense. One type is particularly popular. I think what he sells is harmful, yet I need the formula to prove it. The scoundrel knows that and is very cautious. Yet I assume you, as a witcher, have your ways?
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, yes. The man in question is selling, I believe, some version of drug. I have to go find out what it is. That's always a fun quest. Basically a drug buster.
Ross, why the hell are we
You look
stacking
official.
and
Are you a merchant?
stuff if the port's
Oh no, I'm not talking to a freak.
Wait a minute.
Be off, or I'll call the guards.
Oh, standard response to most witchers. Again, they are apparitions of humanity.
What do you want?
Heard you have a problem.
Ah, if only we had just one. Highways washed out, forests full of bandits, a river beast blocks the port, and tolls are to rise.
Can't help with the tolls, but the monster's a possibility.
The sorceress said the same, but we've yet to see any results.
She's asked me to work with her.
And who's to pay your wage?
That's what I'm here to discuss.
The sorceress was to manage alone. You can split that reward if you wish.
So, part of the haggling portion of trying to get enough money. Let's see if we can't get more.
Well, we're managing it together now, so as I see it, you should double the reward.
You jest.
I could try. Jedi mind tricks are always fun.
You'll double what you offered Lady de Tanzerville, because that's what the contract's worth.
So be it.
Oh, it worked.
I assume you to be professionals and worth every last copper paid to you.
That doesn't.
It's a deal.
The Jedi mind
Now
trick
tell me
doesn't
what you
always
know
work.
about the beast.
You're the Witcher, damn it. I've no knowledge of these things.
Who could tell me more?
That ploughing elf, Cedric, most probably. He's supposed to know all about monsters.
Where can I find him?
In the village, outside the walls. Now leave me be. It's true.
So the Jedi mind trick doesn't always work, and that reminds me, there should be a skill tree on my inventory. I need. Oh yes.
People!
No, put it away. That's the one I was looking for. Not my sword, but the sheath. So, the paths. All the paths work except for training. Interesting. But I could definitely use more skill points. Oh wow, I've got 4. So, parry, throw daggers, vigor, direct arrows. So unlocks the ability to parry in all directions. The next level unlocks the ability to parry from all directions, damage reduction while parrying with full vigor is 100%. But I want the regeneration of vigor in combat, so I'm going to go for that and for the regeneration, and then I'm going to save the last. Oh, that's right, I can apply mutations onto it. I'll wait for that. Better mutations. But for now, I'll save the last point, which will definitely help me out in combat. But yes, it's part of the haggling mechanics I can work with to get more money out of my contracts. Some of my contracts in this one. It's more prevalent in The Witcher 3 to be able to haggle for more of your contracts. There are some people that weren't here before, standing about.
Well, well, I had an inkling and it didn't disappoint me. It was a long voyage to this cesspit, but it's about to make sense. Voltest's killer, live and in person. How are you? Happy and healthy?
Can't complain.
I am delighted, really. But you see, it's a long way back to Vasima, and I'd rather not dawdle. I lost a load of time looking for you.
No reason to waste any more talking then. Bon voyage.
Listen, Jester. You're worth more to me alive, but if need be, I will take you back as a corpse. You choose.
All right. Give it a shot.
Drop your sword and put your hands together, or I'll not vouch for what...
Shut up. Go ahead. Try to kill me.
Oh, fun. Bounty hunters! So let's just deal with some bounty hunters. Just deal with this guy down here, and we'll deal with the shield to do later. We can put the usefulness of increased vigor regeneration to use. Just kind of use it to my advantage. Small man. I get behind him. And strike fast. Heavy attacks.
We've got a wanted man here. Grab him, boys.
That was simple enough. Arrest warrant for the Witcher, I'm assuming. Some random materials off of their bodies. Should be a... Nope, not crafting diagrams. I need... Oh, there it is. It is hereby made known to all that the Witcher named Geralt, a native of Rivia, has committed a high crime of regicide and slain Foltest, king of Temeria. As a murderer and traitor, Geralt of Rivia has been sentenced to death by fire. Ooh, fire! A generous reward is offered for his capture and delivery to the proper authorities. He who delivers the criminal's head shall receive 1/2 of said reward. Those providing reliable and confirmed information as to the criminal's whereabouts shall also receive remuneration. Beware, the Witcher's armed and dangerous. Yeah. So they want me live to burn me at the stake. That's always fun.
A fine mess you have here.
Ah, yes.
Dwarves
So,
bread from the
again,
mouths of
I
honest
was able to
craftsmen,
save
elves wandering among
my
decent
friends
folk.
off of the scaffolding from being hanged, but I wasn't able to save the other two. No idea what they were charged for. I think the man was charged with being a thief, but I have no idea what the woman was charged with. Regrettable, but 'tis the world of The Witcher. But I believe that it is this stall.
Are you a Witcher?
I am.
You've got to do something about that filthy business. The crook selling the poison is going unpunished.
I think he's just selling incense.
Incense is only a cover. People get addicted to it, lose their senses. It's like Fistech. You must shut down that shop. Close the shop and the citizens of Flotsam will reward you handsomely.
I'll talk to the trader.
So, other people want this dealer done. Fistech is an incredibly addictive, incredibly destructive drug, but it's essentially the standard drug of this world that exists in the underworld. So, let's give him a talk.
Welcome to my modest shop.
Let's go a little bit. Start off with what you got.
All kinds of incense, mainly. For meditation, rejuvenation, cooking, making medicine, rituals, whatever you require.
So, you are a standard herbalist. I don't... Ah, yes. The formulas are something better. So I can get formulas to make more potions for my Witcher use for later on. But these formulas are very expensive and I do not have a lot of money. So if I'm going to get anything, it's got to be very good. But I don't think I want many of these. So most of these are stat increases, like this is resistance potion, then you've got sign increase, which essentially does more magic damage, but I think I'll pass on them for now. And then I could get books, which offer more history and lore. Various merchants have certain books, but he mostly just sells alchemical ingredients, which I'm okay with passing on for now. So, So I could try getting the formula out of him and then close down his shop, but I don't believe that the man that offered me that job is exactly forthcoming with his opinions of what he wants the formula for. So I'm just gonna out and out accuse the man of selling drugs.
They say one of your scents is a strong drug.
A drug here? Never heard such nonsense.
A lady told me it works just like Fistech.
Perhaps everything works like Fistech on that lady.
Yeah. I do enjoy my Jedi mind tricks.
I know there's something unusual about it.
All right. I admit it. I've traded in incense for years. It was an ordinary scent. How could I know it would have such an effect on people? Anyway, I can't ban them from using it.
But you could stop selling it.
You've lived with these people since childhood. Why would you want to poison them?
Are you joking? How am I to make a living?
So it didn't work. So I could either believe him and kind of let him continue, or I could tell him, oh, Laredo is the man that's in charge of this place. He was the sheriff we were talking to with on the scaffolding. I'm just gonna threaten him. It's like, you're selling drugs. I'm going to, you either stop or I will turn you in.
Laredo and I will see you tomorrow.
All right then. I'll close the shop. But don't tell anyone. I beg you.
Before you close up, why don't you give me the formula for that incense?
Oh, I got both. Shop contents. Ah, yes. Well, this shop is closed. All that for closed. Okay. So I think I have the option to either talk to the group of citizens here and wish that, I'm assuming they wish to destroy the formula to ensure that no one ever creates it ever again, or I can talk to the guy underneath in the harbor. I believe the guy underneath the harbor wants to have the formula to create his own drugs because he was very interested in how popular it was. So I believe I'm going to go with the high road and talk to these individuals to hopefully get them to never have these drugs being sold
I see
ever
you've
again.
done it. Thank you on behalf of all Flotsam. Here's your reward.
Oh. Or I just get money for both. So this is my log book. Indecent proposal. Little shop. Geralt moved along to spread the justice properly. All right, and went off. This job, I believe. Yes, this quest should be done. So, completed. Oh, I could have just waited about 5 seconds later. So, I chose to side with essentially the moral high ground instead of selling out the recipe for the drugs for money. Reward probably wasn't as high, which is the incentive for selling out to other people, but, you know, I didn't promote drug use. So that's a thing. There are some more people over here that I can talk to. I'm gonna chat up these shady individuals.
Think he looked...
Ha! Greetings. A word, if you will.
You see, we've created an alchemical substance and we wish to test it in Vizima, in a laboratory.
Seeing as you're a witcher, we wondered if you'd be willing to test it in practice.
In a year or two, given the occasion, you could visit us in Vizima. We'd examine you and reward you generously.
We need to study its long-term effects. We can't say more.
Are you in?
You want me to be a human test subject for an untested drug? I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
No way.
Sadly, I cannot tame any dogs.
We'll try someone else.
I don't actually believe I get any animal companions in this one. In the Witcher 3, I will get a horse, which continues the unusual tendency of The Witcher, where he names every single horse he has ever owned Roach, which is entirely not related to the leader of the Blue Stripes, whose name is also Roach. It's believed that the research I've found is that the translation and the pronunciation has altered in its original pronunciation from Polish, which is the original language of the Witcher book series, into English, where the man's name, who's called Roach, should actually be Roche, but the horse is just called Roach. Again, it's fascinating the slight linguistic differences. So, but to continue, I have the option. Well, I still have to wait till after the sun sets. I could meditate to do that.